Yeah, I'm not sure what you want me to say, but I'll have to say something. Well, for one, I'm sure the question would be, where the heck have you been? I mean, for the most part, people that stay here have been seeing me. And,
Yeah. Yeah. But the question is, where have you been?
man, it's work basically, So I was low on cash. Things happened, so I went job hunting, and
I guess YouTube isn't paying you enough.
it's not even paying me at all. so,
Man.
so then
Yeah.
got a job, and well, for the most part, it doesn't pay, but it does the job. It takes up most of your time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it takes up most of your time, but no, man. When it comes to the money, gosh. It makes me think, man, how can you work that hard for so little?
Yeah.
It's bad, but I had no choice, just guess at this point it's time for me to suffer a little bit.
Yeah.
Just go through it. So yeah, and I'm still there. I'm still working, man. So yeah. So and I was tired. I got home and man, I was really tired. I was like, yo, my body. I forgot actually how it feels to work like that. So
Yeah.
but it's just not that. Even the time, working that late, damn it, sending me text here. Working that late.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what happens. So you come back and you're just tired, man. Your body's adjusting to this new, what would you call
Routine.
it? Routine, yeah. So that's what's been happening. So, and of course, usually if I'm free, what would happen is people that I'm supposed to interview,
Yeah.
are not around. Like today, like I'm free. While I'm free, people, they are not free, but I'm free.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what's happening.
Well, I mean, now I think now it's a matter of taking a different approach. Yeah. Ufunani? Ngenyuko kanye. Oh. Ubone?
I don't know. Yeah, didn't even look. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's what's been happening. In fact, as you can see today, actually, there's no one I interviewed. It's just me, of course, and you. But yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm
you.
saying. What I'm saying is, now it's about a different approach also.
I have no choice. Otherwise, it's been getting actually a good, response. So I have to proceed with it. I can't stop it.
Yeah.
I've been gone for a while, yes, but yeah, I have to proceed with it. So,
man.
speaking of which, my producer has said that I should get topics and then start talking about them. And yeah, so I'm sure there's gonna be a mix of that. Obviously, somewhere you'll get someone that you'll interview at some point, but I have to keep releasing every week. So that's the new approach now. Is I need to get new, topics and then just go in on them. Share my 2 cents.
Yeah.
Because they're not gonna get my dollar.
Yeah.
Yeah, but 2 cents.
Yeah.
So he said I should jot, this these topics, and I will confess I didn't do that.
You did.
I didn't do that.
Yeah. So anyway, since you didn't, is it okay if I bring something up? See, you seem to be very lazy.
Saved me.
Yeah. Well, there's the I think there's the topic of the taverns now, and with what's happening with the taverns.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's another video I just saw now, but I don't watch gruesome videos. or anything that's going to be gruesome. I don't watch. So I just saw a little bit, and these guys are walking into a tavern with machetes and stuff and all of that. Yeah, I didn't particularly get into the gist of that one, but I saw they were busy with someone. I'm not sure if it's a group of people that they were busy with, or were busy with everyone, or, but yeah. Also, another issue with situations like this or like these is that you find that old videos will surface.
That's the problem. Just to
So
stir up,
the pot.
the pot.
Yeah. So you just never show how old a video is, But yeah, my take on that is uh, every now and then there's a spirit, and there's a spirit that sort of takes over.
Yeah.
That was not me. Don't look at me like that. There's a spirit that takes over, and yeah, man, I just think a lot happens. I just think a lot happens.
I mean, it wasn't a while ago, right? Where was it? East London. It happened there, right? Poison. How many kids?
Just 21.
I'm not sure. A lot.
No, it was 21 kids.
Just
It was 21, all under the age of 18.
poison.
Not really. They suffocated. I don't like it when people say they poisoned. Yes, there was pepper spray. The pepper spray did play a part. Not might have, but did play a part. But so imagine you're in a room that has one door and one small window, right? And that window is said to be closed also. And the door, because it's only one door, is closed. Right? And it's packed to capacity. It's packed to a point where you cannot, or not cannot, but it is very hard to move. Right? So imagine, so how people, look, okay, I'll make an example with a plastic bag. If I cover you with a plastic bag, you suffocate, not because, there's no air, or in a sense, but it's
The same.
it's carbon dioxide. It's inhaling and exhaling the same thing, So imagine in a room full of that, and everyone is inhaling, exhaling. There's no room for carbon dioxide, for oxygen.
Yeah. So that's what happened.
That's what happened. And then there was pepper spray, which made it a lot worse.
Who did that? The pepper spray part.
I think I'm not sure. I think it was the bouncers. I think, yeah.
Inside. I mean, like, how long does it take for you to realize that I think I can't breathe?
I don't know. It was also the same thing with the Travis Scott and Drake concert, and you can imagine with that it was in the open, it was outside, and people suffocated and died.
Yeah.
So you imagine you're in a room, it's packed to capacity.
Just makes me think, how long? Like the excitement, and the intoxication, like how long, like how drunk do you have to be to not even pay that much attention as to, what? I think I can't breathe. And on top of that, for me, I'm speaking for me.
The thing is, okay, so
I'm just speaking for me in a sense where I don't understand why people love crowded places, especially in a room. I don't know, man. I feel so uncomfortable if I can't even move. Like, where's the fun? If there's not even enough space for you to move.
Yeah.
And I think it would make sense why it would be kids. That's still forcing that experience. You have that thing. Most of us as kids, we don't enjoy the things we do. It's just peer pressure. You go there, just trying to fit in. Listen, I'm also here, and 1, 2, and then leads to another. But in most cases, that you're doing something that you're not really comfortable doing.
doing.
But
I
you
mean, in the
just
beginning,
tend-
I'd say you're not comfortable.
tend to do it.
Yeah, I'd say in the beginning you're not comfortable. You know. Also with the East London Inyobeni situation, um, a lot of that, and a lot of people will look at the tavern owner, you know, and say that she's the only one to blame. You
Yeah.
know, there were kids as young as 13 years old. You know, you're at home as a parent. How do you not know where your kids are?
And it's around that time then now the blame game begins because it has to be someone's fault,
But it's just not going to be the
especially one
parents.
that is alive.
Yeah,
We need
it's-
to find someone to blame and who's alive. And for me, obviously, I was not surprised when the tavern owner was
Yeah,
gonna be that a scapegoat.
yeah.
I mean, he's partly to blame.
Yeah,
no
yeah. I
question about
mean,
it, but
because when I followed the story, and so the kids that were there said that that whole event was a pens down, so it was for kids, it wasn't for adults, right? And and why would you make an event for high school kids, knowing very well that about 95% of those kids are under the legal drinking age?
so you are guilty,
She's guilty. She's very guilty.
and she knows it.
She knows it. What then now? Let's talk about the parents. We've got her out of the way. What about the parents? How do you not know where your kids are? That's for me, that is my biggest issue.
Man,
I think kids, I mean, not kids, but parents are not being responsible. They are not being given the responsibility.
I mean, you can start here at home, basically. I mean, how many? Usually when I knock off
Yeah,
around like 10 o'clock or to 9, past 2:10,
Yeah.
somewhere there. Man, you'll find a group of these kids. A group,
a lot of
a
them.
lot of them. And one question and one question only: where are the parents? What's going on? I mean, there's so many. Back then maybe you could get 5 or 2 or 3. It wasn't that many, but now it's like a group of kids. And they're drinking.
It isn't that we didn't do the things that they're doing. I'll say personally, I only started drinking like in matric. I think matric was when I started drinking.
Yeah, but we have to look at the that's why I'm saying metric, right? But have you seen the group? These kids.
Grade 7s, grade 8s.
No, like they're in one group. You'd find about 20 of them.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's
yeah.
what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
We never did it like that.
No,
That's
not
why I'm
like
saying
that.
You'd find 2, 3, during that time like this.
Yeah.
One time we were here and then this happened. Someone would say.
And for the most part, they would hide themselves, so
Yeah.
they wouldn't want to be seen.
So.
But these ones don't care.
Okay. So, adding to that, I'm willing to bet that wasn't the first time that happened. I'm not talking about the deaths, but the pants down.
Yeah,
It wasn't the first time, and that's the problem.
It's just unfortunate. It was
happens.
unfortunate.
Where you will find people relaxing, doing things that they are not supposed to do, because they got away with it the first time.
Yeah.
And it happens. And once tragedy hits, all of a sudden, the reality hits. And that's the problem, is that once you start getting away with something, you tend to make it a lifestyle. You tend to make it a habit.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that's what happened. That's exactly what happened. Until things get out of control. Now, what do you do? Because now you have to live with that conscience of
Knowing
that, you said 21 kids
21 kids.
passed away. Now, it doesn't matter whether they are guilty or not guilty. The point is, it happened at your time. It was your responsibility. Right? And I don't understand. You know, man, I'm not sure what world you'd be living in for you to think that, let me give kids alcohol. When they get drunk, there's gonna be order. Like, I don't know what thinking that is. It doesn't make any sense. You should know that.
Yeah.
That, kids are troublesome even when they're sober.
What do you think is going to happen when they're under the
drunk?
influence?
They're totally out of control.
Yeah.
Totally out of control. Right. And that's what happened. Now, I don't know much about it. That's why I can't delve that much into it, in terms of the details. But when it comes more,
But you see, the thing is, many people are to blame for that particular incident. One, it's the state, which is also the liquor board. There's the tavern owner. There's the parents, and then the kids themselves, because they are to blame. Because it's not like people now all of a sudden do not know that they are. How can I put this? They don't know that they are under the age.
Yeah.
It's not that they don't know that the drinking age is 18 years and above. They're fully aware. It's not that parents don't know that kids shouldn't be out late at night.
It's something me and you have spoken about, where it's a new thing where all of a sudden kids are not responsible for their actions. I don't know where that came from.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, it's it's like you're raising kids that are irresponsible, but when they are old, you expect them to be responsible.
Somehow now they're just supposed to know that. They grew up, not taking any responsibility whatsoever. And somehow at this age now they should just know that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And responsibility also goes in a sense where, people, I'll make an example. We complain about jobs and everything. Right?
Yeah.
And so forth. But it's hard to create jobs for entitled people. It's hard to create jobs for entitled people. People that went to school, but all of a sudden they don't know maths. And what do I mean? They suddenly don't add up. Like, here, okay, guess what? I have this small business. I'm hiring 3 people, and I'm gonna pay them this much, right? And get in there, and somehow that, okay, this is what we do. So someone, you have a math kind of ideas to how to calculate. Okay, I can see what kind of money this person is making and so forth, and 1 2 and 1 2 and 1 2. Now the entitlement comes in where people suddenly say, okay, listen, I want this much because I realized you are making this much.
Yeah.
That is entitlement.
Yeah.
That is entitlement. Right? Those profits are not your business. Right? Those profits are not your business. And probably now it sounds like, didn't you just say your job pays rubbish?
Oh no, it does.
It does.
But it doesn't change.
But I agreed on those terms. I agreed. I signed it. I'm done.
Yeah.
Whatever now comes, yes, we can negotiate. Right?
Yeah.
But the entitlement would be a business exists because of one thing and one thing only. Profits. Yes, I know they like throwing in those we change lives, blah, 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 all that nonsense. But most of them, it's profits.
Yeah.
Right? That's why it exists. To make profits.
Yeah.
You pay everybody off, you pay whatever is left, that is profits.
Yeah. On the entitlement part, how can they not be entitled when their parents have how can I put this? They have an emotional attachment to kids. They don't have any responsibility to them. Right? Okay, so you were at work at this time, but we are around the hood, Fifth Avenue. So apparently these kids were fighting, right? And as they were fighting, the parents came, and it's two mothers. They came, and then the mothers started fighting. Right. So in my mind, I'm like, I don't know. I'm not particularly, sure. I don't understand how parents are today. I'm honestly lost for words. You know, when my dad got a call from school saying that I did something, I got a beating. Kids today, parents get a call from school. The parents go to school and they fight with the teachers, saying the teachers don't like their kids, this, that, and the fourth, you know. And it's like, hey, man, it's very confusing. It's very, very confusing. You know? They do not stand for the truth. They are too emotional. And another thing, I mean, this one is going to sting, but it is important that they understand that their kids were mistakes. The first step to fixing a problem is acknowledging the mistake. And so if they do not acknowledge that their kids were mistakes, they will have nothing to fix. Hence, they can say, you know, I don't know what I'm doing. There's no rule book for raising a kid.
You know,
But they can tell you what is wrong. They can't tell you what is right. They can tell you what is wrong.
you know, man, it's that old lie. You know, actually, it's not a lie. It's just it's been misquoted.
Yeah.
Where if you are a mother, you don't need to be taught how to be a mother. You just know. But you know, I see what they were saying. At first, I took it as but now I understood what it's meant by that.
Yeah.
But people take it to the point where like you just know,
Yeah.
like like man, like there's nothing you can tell me. I know, I'm a mother. I know, if someone came and went into your house and burned it down,
Yeah.
right? You burned your house down, right? And maybe let's say two people came in, they burned the house down,
Yeah.
and now the other one ran away, and then one returns,
Yeah.
and then he says, I'm sorry. And then he says, I'll try and rebuild this house with you.
Yeah.
Does it take away from the fact that he burned the house down?
No.
And that's the whole point, is that these people come, they make babies, and somehow because they're raising them, they are the best of the best.
Yeah.
Let's ignore their mistake, right?
Yeah.
We're just gonna jump into the fact that all of a sudden they're doing a great job. Even when they're not, by the way. So person says he's gonna build your house, but he hardly ever has time to come and help you build this house.
Yeah.
But that's what's happening, is that they give themselves too much credit. Like you can't mess up and then fix. It's what separates, it's what separates most of when they try to compare Jesus with these other so-called saviors. Is that when you try to fix something you ruined, you can't be a savior because you ruined it. You're just fixing something you messed up. Other than coming where you had nothing to do with it, you don't even have to do it, and then you come and you fix it. That's a different, take.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is you can't be have a baby while you're a teenager or young, just randomly, you didn't plan it, and then all of a sudden, because you're raising it, you did the greatest job. That to me creates also a toxic society where
there's no sense of responsibility.
Where people always make babies, and just because he never threw the baby away or whatever, she was never Brenda, or maybe even the guy at some point, never read her. Somehow now he does the greatest job.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's move on the final. So let's move on. And I look at those things and I can see how the toxicness, and the problem starts coming. as you just said yourself, adding to what you said. I mean, if you're an adult and kids are fighting, the main thing is just to stop. It's kids, man. Why would you put yourself in a kid's shoes? Why did you do that? Don't do that. Find out who's wrong, right? And let your child know in front of that parent what you did was wrong.
Yeah.
That's how you build character in a child. You build that character in that child to know that, you know what, I was wrong. Not my mother is here, so it doesn't matter. She's just gonna help me.
Yeah.
You see,
I think it's also the family first thing. That family's blood is
Yeah,
thicker
man, I
than
mean,
water.
we've been doing that, but let's be honest. As you said, our father loves us, but you knew that if it comes to this, he doesn't take that nonsense.
Yeah.
He's a man of character.
Yeah.
You understand? A man of principle. You
Yeah.
knew that, okay, when it comes to this, it's not about he loves me. You knew that he loves you. He didn't have to do that to show that. You just know he loves you. You understand? But he's a man, so you know what kind of love he displays. You just know he doesn't play like that. Gosh, when you knew you were wrong, and especially for me,
Yeah.
and I knew man, it's going down. I know I'm in trouble now, right? And you need that. That's love. That's love. But if every time your child just does something, man, you're really crippling that child. You're destroying that child.
The lie that you have to feel good,
Yeah,
to know what love is, or love is supposed to make you feel good.
doesn't make sense.
It doesn't.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. It honestly doesn't. I think you how can I put this? So if your parents love you, they shouldn't punish you.
That's an interesting way to define it.
You shouldn't be punished.
And you always ask, like, who puts, like, who makes these definitions? I'm not lying, man. I just want to know, like, who makes these definitions? Like, what's the reasoning behind that? It just doesn't add up. But they do it. Essentially, what you're saying is, if you love me, I don't want consequences for my actions. That's just what it boils down. Not why, just if you love me, I don't want consequences. The only way we grow, and it's a shame, we all know that, the only way we grow is through hardship. The person grows so well through that.
Yeah.
Through hardship, His character is built, right? And as a child, hardship is knowing that, you know what, if I did something, there's something that's supposed to happen to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. If, I messed up, they're pissed at home, something is going to happen to me. You understand? And you do that over and over, it builds character. It builds something in that child. That's what it does.
Yeah.
So going back again to also the tavern, how will they be a community in that kind of situation if a child and a child is fighting and parents come and they also fight? There is no community there. Those are the things that kill a community as well. Yeah. It kills a community. It means your child is your child and my child is my child, and so be it. No wonder, people are always shocked. I can't believe people came and they did this. Oh, they can, and they will do it again because there's no community here. It's every man for himself. Now, in terms of how it happened, when, how, we can talk about that. But all I can say now is we know it's happening. There is no community. Literally, right here, also, there is no community. Nothing.
You're looking for something that you can't give.
Yeah, you want it, but you can't give it. Community starts exactly like that. When and it starts with kids. I don't understand. Kids, it starts right there. Because you're also learning. Remember, as you said, as a parent, what you said, I'm new at this, I'm not sure what I'm doing. Some adult has to teach you that has, kids older than yours. telling you, no, listen, if you want to do this, you have to do 1, 2, 3. Listen, if your child did 1, 2, 3, do 1, 2, 3 as well. That's a community where you're willing to learn from someone.
Okay.
Not I have this mindset where are you so old school. Look at this new school. We're so new. Look at us. How well are we doing? How well are we doing? We're so new. We know everything.
Not so good.
Yeah. That's old. Look at it. Yeah, go on. Let's see this new thing. How is it going? How is it going for us?
There's the whole thing of fixing things that aren't broken. Right? I was telling my girlfriend the other day, kids at school are learning how to read and write. This new, I don't know if it's a curriculum or whatever that is, So if they're learning like a with us, we all know it's A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and then still the alphabet, right? And then you're taught a word, and you have an understanding of the word itself, that a PH, gives you an F, so it's physics, you learn that over time. It's not like you won't particularly need it now when you're young. Like when I say young, I'm like in grade 1, 2. These kids are learning how to pronounce cat, or not even pronounce cat, but how to. They are reading cat as it's written. Yeah. So it's cat. Fat. I was like, what the heck are you guys doing? I'm like, what are you teaching these kids? I don't know. We're dumbing them down. You're fixing something,
As you said, it was never broken.
It wasn't broken. We'll do the whole government thing also, right? Yeah. The changing of street names in Pretoria.
Yeah.
Spent millions just changing street names. Did we really have to change those street names? Did we? That money could have went to good use. People have, they don't, the housing situation in SA is a mess.
I mean, touching on the government, man, that it's just always them prioritizing themselves, because obviously they place their names there, the people that they knew. Yeah. Like if you're gonna change a street name, you gotta give it to someone who was there. If you want to, I'm not saying you should, but I'm saying.
I mean, I don't. The thing is, I wouldn't even think of changing those street names. That's South Africa's history. Do you want to start your own history? If so, then here's what you do, right? Here's what you do. You build your own varsities, right? That are these from the black-owned government, like black-run government, right? And what you do there is that's when you start giving those varsities names, those names, because then you are edifying onto what already exists, but the money has gone to good use. It's education. But now, what am I going to do with Lillian Goy? I know Skinner. Even now, if you ask anyone, what's that street art, Skinner?
You know what generation still says that.
Yeah. It makes it's useless. People. And I have a serious problem with politicians.
It's I think we've had this conversation before where can't make everything politics. Like, stop forcing people to think like you. I mean, I'll make an example. I didn't need to be whoever made this didn't need to be a politician to make this.
Yeah.
You know, whoever. So the exaggeration of politics everywhere is what's dumbing also us down, and I'll go that far to say that
It's dumbing us down.
dumbing us down, because now you're putting politics even where politics shouldn't be. You think politics are everything.
I'll
And if
say
you look-
it
and
is.
if you look at
It is.
the-
It is
the-
these
the world-
illiterate,
yeah.
illiterate, emotion-driven leaders.
And if you look at the world today, I would go as far as it's messed up like this because it's also politics try to enter everywhere and try to solve everything when they were not even needed.
Yeah. Sports.
They are there. What are they
They
doing
want.
there?
They want equality.
What are they doing?
They know there's not enough black people.
And in sports, man, you gotta earn. Anyone who plays sports or who's aware of sports will tell you, man, let me tell you something.
It's about the talent.
It's about that. You earn your spot there. Color, we don't care about your color. Earn your spot there. Work hard just like everybody else. You earn it.
No favors.
No favors, no nothing. You earn your spot. Of course, there'll always be favors, but not those kind of favors such as I'm putting you in because you're not talented. We're talking about favors such as if someone is talented, you know how sports is. Someone is talented, he likes getting away with things.
Yeah,
but the point is that
if you say I'm
but
putting
if
you in
are
because you're
talented,
black,
but if mostly you are talented in sports, you know you're gonna get some game time.
yeah,
You know it.
yeah,
So now you're bringing politics, or mostly even the gender conversation. You start bringing in the gender. You know what I've noticed is that. Sorry for that, man. Just got this itch.
yeah,
Anyway, what happens is, particularly these jobs, right? You want more women in there, right? Fine, there is more women in there, right? Everybody earns the same, right? So far. I know they say that there is that gap. I don't know, maybe in corporations, but I don't see that gap anywhere in the lower,
yeah.
working classes. I don't see that. Everyone is paid the same. But here's what happens. Okay, now it's time for us to work, right? We're doing the same thing, and then suddenly, when it comes to a little bit of hard labor, nobody cries for it. You're the man. Can you go pick that up, or can you go do this in there? Can you? Because you are the man. Suddenly, you become a man.
You're the man.
And that's. I'll go as far as saying that is disgusting. That is disgusting. Where suddenly now you're a woman, or now you're a man.
When it benefits
When
you.
it benefits you, now all of a sudden you're a man. And a lot of people can attest to that, I'm sure. It happens every single time. Every single time. Okay, listen, you're a man. Go do this. Come on, man. This is a man's job. But then why are we getting paid the same? Looks like I'm the one doing the heavy lifting most of the time.
Yeah.
So why should I earn the same? It's another conversation in itself. So, and it's something I've noticed.
Women do it. They
Suddenly,
do it a lot.
I mean, I'm telling you, when things get hard, women suddenly turn into women, and now you turn into a man. Don't you remember when we were building that shack? No name calling, but before that, man, we're talking about, we want the same things. It's all about equality. Cool. All of a sudden, it's time to build, and women now want to fold their shoulders.
Yeah.
Men who have to build this. I was like, I'm not gonna play that game.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna play that game. I'm not gonna be dirty and dusty while you sit and fold your shoulders.
Yeah.
And
Your
all
hands.
of a sudden,
Your hands.
oh yeah, you're right. Your hands.
Yeah.
You have to edit that one out.
I don't know how I'll do that, but yeah.
Yeah, but this. Anyway,
Ufuna di-card.
yeah, I changed it and that. You are anyway, wait. When all of a sudden she turns into a woman.
Yeah.
And I thought we're fighting for the same thing. But she still wants the same bed. Everything has to. I'm like, no. I don't play that game. I know some other people don't mind. And I wouldn't say they don't mind. They're not paying attention to it.
And then
But I
there's
pay attention to
and
it.
then there's the and then
I'm like, I don't roll like, I don't work like that.
and then you have to meet potential partners, sponsors, and then they want to get involved. Oh, why do you?
Yeah.
Why-
On the forefront, they want to be.
Yeah,
What nonsense is that?
yeah.
No, and yes, it's nonsense. And you know what, man? It bugs me that men are quiet. I don't, men that just buy face, they're really disappointing to me.
Yeah,
They
I
really
wanted to say that also about men when we were when we were talking about the tavern debacle, something you said to me a few days ago is that women have all this power, and it isn't because they worked for it. We gave it away. It's men who gave it away. You often find women saying or asking, "What do you men bring to the table?" And as this guy says, firstly, the table, I brought that table that you're eating on. The food that you cooked, that you put to the table, I went and got that food. If there's meat there, I killed that animal so you can prepare it. You're sitting on a chair that was made by me in a house with a roof that was made by me. You have running water, I did that. You understand? You have a bed, I did that. Electricity, I did that. Light bulb, I did that. Now, you still want to ask that question. Again, now we go to the men issue. Beginning of the year, I was telling a friend of mine, a female friend of mine, I said, you know how a society or a people are nearing their end is when one, the men start being feminine. Feminine. Yeah, the men start being feminine, and two, women start taking over, and that's when the society is starting to, it's dying, And she got offended, I said, you can be as offended as you want to be, but history checks all those boxes over and over and over and over. And I said, you look at Greece, you look at Rome, it's the same thing.
And the other issue is, women think they're fighting men, but they're actually fighting God's creation.
Yeah.
And they think they're fighting
men. Yeah.
But they're actually fighting God's creation, because that is God's order.
I wanted to say God's order.
And they think they're fighting. That's why every time you see someone is looking specifically at you, you're fighting me. You're fighting God's creation. This is how he did it. And he knows why he did it like that. There's a sermon of T.D. Jakes.
Yeah.
But he was talking about purpose.
Yeah.
So he's talking about a speaker. He says, he was sitting and he says, I can sit on the speaker. It'll bear my weight. It can take my weight. I can sit on this. Nothing will happen to it, right? Obviously I'm adding my words. I can't remember probably exactly what he said, but all I remember what he said was, I can sit on the speaker.
Yeah.
Right? Sit on it and it will bear my weight. And in fact, I can do this over and over again. But that's not the purpose of that speaker.
Yeah.
I can sit on it. But we all know what the purpose of a speaker
Is
and that's the whole point. You can put them into, these positions, and, and exceptional too, by the way.
Yeah.
Put them there and it looks like, oh, you see. That isn't still, will never make it their purpose. Even if you can feel those seats. You can teach a little child how to drive. These young kids, they learn how to drive. You can teach a child how to drive.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean he's of legal age to drive. You can learn how to drive. And so that even the reasoning for me behind it is I don't know, man. It's just it's mind blowing that, just because someone does something. Okay, you see,
Yeah.
there's a purpose for everything. Man, I keep saying this and I'll say it. I don't remember men and women hating each other this much ever.
Yeah.
Particularly women hating men this much. I mean, I don't know. But you know what the interesting thing is that when it comes to domestic violence, it's never been this high.
Yeah.
It's never been this high. But no one is gonna bother to ask, and that's the thing. Nobody ever bothers to ask what the hell is going on, right? Because we're not good at solving things, right? Nobody knows how to solve anything.
They never know.
They never know how to solve anything. Okay, there's so much domestic violence. Let's just add the years because that's just gonna fix everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just gonna add it. There's so much rape happening. Oh, I know. Let's add more years because that's gonna fix everything, right? Let me just add more years. There's so much robberies. There's so much murder. You know what? Let's add more because adding more years
Yes,
somehow
is gonna make it
fix the problem,
Yeah.
right? You will never fix any problem without acknowledging it. You'll never even fix any problem without tackling it. If there's domestic violence, you going on a campaign saying men shouldn't do this. It's not never will never so it never has.
It never has.
No problem ever solves just because you need to find the root of why are these men doing this? And you have to get uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's an uncomfortable conversation, not just conversation, but it's an uncomfortable situation. But it has to be. Otherwise, I don't see it. And I won't lie, man. I'll never be shocked if rape keeps climbing. If domestic violence keeps climbing. Why? Because they're not tackling the issue.
Yeah.
They're not tackling they're not even trying to. You're gonna get somehow a woman talking some nonsense. Women are stronger than men. Yeah, let's look at the stats. Let's go to this domestic violence. Let's look at that.
And
Let's look at reality.
I think in terms of
Misleading these young girls who are in a position to actually really make a difference. You're gonna say something so stupid like we're in this competition where apparently a man and a woman have to fight. Where a man and a woman have to fight. Because somehow now we become these enemies where we just have to fight.
yeah, I wanted to say, so the thing the thing with the whole rape thing, and it going up is because governments have are money centered, so it's profit centered. As long as it's gonna make money, and they've sexualized women, they've objectified women, and women. There's a video of a woman saying, the one thing that really, and I'm misquoting it now, that really killed women were these ads in the early 2000s saying, from now on, when you put makeup for yourself, dress for yourself, you do it for you, And there's then there was the miniskirt era and be comfortable in your own skin, all these things that sound nice, but at the back of it, the consequences are greater than they thought, you know. Now they won't take any responsibility for their actions, you know. So if you objectify yourself and you sexualize yourself in that sense, men should just look at you as an intelligent woman. I don't see intelligent, I see an object. I see I see a trophy. I see an achievement. I can achieve that. And once I'm done, okay, on to the next achievement.
You know, it's so deep that, you know, some of the men, you can tell this person doesn't know how to be a woman, but by just doing that.
Yeah.
Right?
That's all they know.
That's just all they know.
Yeah.
Right? And so an example would be someone wears this very, shorts where the butt is sticking out.
Yeah.
She couldn't pick up anything without showing anything.
Yeah.
Then she's gonna pass. As she passes, people are looking at her, and somehow she's not on the wrong. These people that are looking at her are the ones on the wrong.
Perverts.
Yeah, perverts. Like they call it perverts. Do you know how brainwashed you have to be to think like that? Where there is no sense of accountability. Nothing is telling you that, you know, maybe I should be responsible. Nothing. No, it's not them.
Yeah.
It's a man. And as I said, you will never fix a problem if you can't acknowledge it. If you can't really find the problem, how can you fix it? Right?
I mean, yeah. If you see the problem, they know what the problem is.
You know, I've heard. I think I saw it on Facebook years back, where this girl said, I think it was, I'm assuming a girl wrote it, because she said, I was at this party, I was drunk. So drunk, these guys took me home. I never got raped. What did she say? I mean, she said a couple of things. I think also she said I was walking home late, something, or I don't know, came back home safely. I never got raped. Said I was, man, she said, you know, most those incidents, you know, I was wearing a short thing, whatever, for all my, and I never got raped, and, you know, that kind of thinking.
Yeah.
Right. I'm reading that, I'm like, how can someone be so dumb?
Yeah.
What the hell are you talking about?
Wait,
Is that?
do you know that there are people who don't put butlers on their windows?
I know.
And they've never been robbed.
Never been robbed. Man, there are people who flash money.
Never been robbed.
Never been robbed. So the problem, apparently, it's not. The point was, she's not the problem. Men are the problem. Men are the problem, but you also are the problem. Two of you are. We don't have to choose one. There's no okay. No. Both of you are. You are the problem. How can you say you're not a problem? Like the thinking behind that, and I'm sure she's thinking, I've nailed it here. You know, I point here. No one can debate this, and I'm like, man, I can debate that any day. We can debate that any day.
Any given day.
Any given, as you said, don't worry. In fact, leave the door open. Why don't you try and sleep? Leave the door open. You see, when you're talking to a rapist, you need to remember you are talking to a rapist, not man. You need to separate that two. You are talking to a rapist. If you are talking to me about that, you are talking to the wrong person. I'll tell you something. Try that. They'll rape you. That's what they'll do.
Yeah.
Because a rapist does that. A rapist rapes. That's what it is. And a rapist is not defined. It's a man who rapes. No.
It's a rapist.
It's a rapist. But you've been so brainwashed to think everything. The hatred of men. You throw everything on a man. You will never be the problem. Everything will be a man. And as I said, I'm not surprised that rape and domestic violence keeps going up, because people do not want to be responsible.
They're not trying to be.
As long as they are not responsible, It won't change. You know, I don't even know how long this podcast is, but it will do. Actually, I like it because at least we got to tackle some uncomfortable conversations at the end, but
That was a very uncomfortable.
not for me.
No, I mean like not for me.
Not for me, but obviously, you know, people.
All I'm gonna say is men need to take a stand.
You know what, man? They just need to. Man. They just need to.
I mean, communities are being terrorized because they've taken a seat.
Yeah,
they've taken a back seat.
You know where you'll find them, right?
Shabins.
The same place.
Shabins.
The same place.
And
where these you know, terrible things are happening lately.
Yeah.
That's where they are. Taverns. That's where you'll find this man. Drunk.
Majority of those are men that I'm sure majority of those that were killed in that massacre are men.
I'm sure are men. Because that's where they are. Yeah.
Again, it's another plea to the government, you know. Give men their roles back.
Yeah, their purpose.
Give them back their purpose, because without a purpose, they are just wandering around. Man, and these very same men are gonna go around and they're gonna continue raping these women. Are gonna continue raping these kids and killing these women and these kids and terrorizing society because
there's no man to protect. Which man will protect?
And those that are supposed to protect, they don't, because money talks.
Yeah. You know what's the worst thing, man? Rape, murder. It's always been there.
Yeah.
It's nothing new. You know, you don't need to open your eye and be shocked. It's nothing new.
It's just gone up.
It's just gone up. It's just gone up. Oh, well then, fine, we'll wrap it up because, you know, producer is crying. Not literally, but, you know, saying time is up. He's right, you know, before we start talking about, you know, topics that are unnecessary, so to speak. Sure.